All right, yo, what's good, y'all? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Let me real quick, let me just check, make sure y'all can hear me, make sure it's not on some goofy shit today. All right, we good. Let me move my seat over a little bit, guys, so that I'm more centered. So that I'm more centered. I hope that helps a little bit. That I'm more centered. Hopefully, we shall see. So that I'm more centered. I hope that helps a little bit. That I'm more centered. Whatever. That's how we rocking out today. What's good, y'all? I hope everything's good, man. This is gonna be more of a relaxed stream. Honestly, I didn't put together any stories, so I'm honestly just gonna be on here talking shit for like the next hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, because I got going over a homie's crib tonight. But they finally got old boy, man. They finally got the fucking libs. Finally got their fucking wish. They got this nigga Mugshot. They finally got their wish, bro. Shit crazy to me though, because it's like, hey, this ain't helping Black Americans any one bit. Matter of fact, it's like it's almost like emboldening Black Americans to an extent. I don't know. That's how I'm looking at it. Like, if y'all been seeing this shit, like a lot of Black people been relating to him, like going to jail and shit and everything. Like, oh, that's how da da da. Like the ignorance, Black people, we got our ignorance just as much as white people got. Y'all got y'all's. So automatically, oh, that nigga went to jail. I can relate to that. But what is he doing for your community? This the same nigga talking about he want to execute anybody caught drug dealing. Like, come on, bro. And the more I look at this Trump shit and seeing how, his followers, who are mostly white people, seeing how they're reacting to it, again, the fact that I'm reading this book, Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. Anybody that's been watching like RBN, whether it's the RBN main show or Sabby Sabs, I've been dropping super chats in there talking about this book because I think this book is very important. Not because I agree with everything this man is saying, not even because I agree with the perspective that this man is coming from, but because I think that, again, this book, you should buy it. It's by Dr. Claude Anderson. It's called Powernomics. I think this book is a very good analysis of breaking down racial divides and kind of like approaching intersectionality in a non-liberal way. I know that sounds kind of weird, but like the way I've been interpreting the book and reading it is kind of like in a way of like looking how different groups move in America under capitalism. And it's been very, very fascinating to think about it through that lens because, and this is a breakdown I get of my homies all the time. Like they probably get tired of me talking about it, but I just been thinking about it. Honestly, I've been thinking about either writing an article or maybe like a short book about it or some shit. But like, we talk about class analysis. I'm pretty sure anytime you've talked about, hey, like, let's do X Black issue to help Black people. Oh, but how is it going to help poor working class white people? We need unity. Like, I know I've been talking about that a lot on the channel. And it's like, for me, I'm looking at it like, okay, how can we? Yeah, I was literally watching RBN before I hopped on here, and they were getting me. I was watching the post duopoly show, but I'm like, fuck it, man. I'm about to jump in the fray. Let your boy jump in here. You feel me? Because I'm the realest one on here. Nobody's like, nah. I love most of the people streaming right now. I actually want to so. I know I talked about this a while, and I know I'm bouncing around, but like I said, guys, this is going to be a chaotic stream. It's mostly going to be me talking, maybe even me strolling through Twitter just to see what's going on there, just to get a read of everything. So, and I'll also, in about 10 minutes, once I get through my opening remarks, I'm going to post the Discord link down below so y'all can hop in there. I could talk to some of y'all. That's if y'all feeling like knowing that. I know last time y'all niggas wasn't trying to do that shit. I'm trying to talk to y'all motherfuckers. And y'all niggas, here's the perfect chance for y'all to fucking tell me I'm trash. We hate your fucking show. Bendu is so trash. Get off the fucking airwaves. whatever you want to tell me. And y'all niggas don't say shit. I'm trying to talk to y'all. But regardless, in about 10, 15 minutes, I'm gonna post a link for that in the chat. Should be a fun time. But continuing with my thoughts, but on the Powernomics situation, and then I'll get to talking about the channel and kind of what I've been thinking about in terms of direction for the channel. But Powernomics, yes. I think it's a very anti-liberal analysis of intersectionality, because there's parts of intersectionality I agree with, but it's almost like, it's like feminism. Like, there are things within feminism that I agree with, but because I have a penis, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Because I'm a nigga, I ain't trying to hear that shit. The fuck on my face. Like, the obvious things that doesn't need to be named. Joanne Reed says some stuff I could agree. I think Trump wanted to bury the Central Fire. Now he's going. I mean, yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Look, I am in no way, shape, or form feeling sorry for Trump. I have no sympathy for Trump. This is all because of, in my opinion, his failure to actually get rid of the corruptness within the government, to drain the swamp, like he said. Like, yeah, sure, he would have put in conservative policy, all this nonsense. But if you had at least done that, you wouldn't be in this position that you're in right now. And you might have been reelected without it being so close. Like, look, I'm not one of those people that think that what Trump is saying about the election happened. I don't believe that. And I think a lot of people that are saying that are discounting how many people do not fucking like Trump. It's like 60% of the populace does not like this nigga. That's just what the facts of the matter, what it is. And one of the very few things RFK Jr. talks about where I will say that he's right on is, or I forgot, I don't know if it's RFK Jr., but somebody said this, like, or Pasta, I'm sorry, Pasta from Convo Couch. He brought up the fact that, unfortunately, most people do not care about foreign policy. That is true, but the reasoning and context for why Pasta's saying it is bullshit. But the reasoning and context that I'm saying it is, most people that voted for Trump did not give a fuck about him saying he wanted to end all the wars. Most people, they just don't give a fuck. Us in the political space that we're in, we gravitated towards that and took that as, oh my God, this is why people liked him. But no, people liked him because he said, fuck Obama, fuck Clinton, let's lock her up. We need to drain the swamp. I'm going to bring jobs back to you people in the Rust Belt, which he didn't fucking do. So when people talk about his economy, it's like, yo, what economy? You mean him bragging about fucking employment numbers while people are suffering like Biden is right now? We had the best economy. Yeah, for who? Business owners and rich people? Because, nigga, my shit didn't change. Most working people's shit didn't change. Now, if I was to be a dick, I could say, if I was to be a fucking ignorant, let's just say ignorant, if I was to, buy into the blue MAGA cult, I could say, well, I'm making more money under Biden than I was under Trump, which would be true. But that's just because of the job I'm working at now. I don't apply any of the economic circumstances that, whether beneficial or I wouldn't say bad, because I do think a lot of the bad is their fault on how they shift economic policy towards the rich. But I don't give that credit to no fucking president, bro. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro. I wouldn't apply for that fucking job. I went out and did what I had to do to get that job. Unfortunately, though, the economic policies in terms of being able to, what can I afford now with that money? Like, this is the most money I've made ever in my fucking life. And I still can't afford to fucking rent an apartment on my own. I've been working on building my credit up. And it's funny. They talk about China's social credit system, and I have a video on the channel about that. Meanwhile, like, nigga, like, you are literally blocked. That, like, the credit system in America is literally how they enforce a racial caste system within America, bro. And people rarely recognize that. But getting back on topic, continuing with this book, Powernomics. I think it can be a replacement of the liberal intersectionality. and just obviously drop a lot of the inflammatory language he uses in the book. Like I said, the part is written from a black perspective, so there's a lot of things that he says that I'm sure other racial groups are not going to agree with, and they're going to, I can't believe he said that. If a white person was saying that about a black person, blah, blah, nigga, we get it, bro. We get it. You're butthurt right now. That being said, I think this book is invaluable with how different racial groups move within America. And, from what I've been told as a Marxist and a communist, if we want to do anything, we have to go to the people. Well, from what I've been seeing is that you have a small group of people that just want to go talk to white people. And then niggas, y'all could come along, but you got to leave behind all your issues and focus on these white issues or the issues that you agree with white people. And it's like, nah, nigga, fuck that. Meanwhile, they cater to Asians. They cater to Arab Americans. Obviously, like I said, they cater to white people. That's who they want to go to first. But it's like, nigga, my problem is wages, and then I got to take my broke ass home to a fucking police state in my neighborhood. Who gonna fix that for me? Oh, but because Jim Bob's brother is on the police force, I got to suck it up because Jim Bob doesn't believe his brother would ever beat the shit out of somebody randomly. Jim Bob, I hate to break it to you. Your brother got some issues, bro. Your brother got some issues. And then I've been seeing this Asian dude on there on Twitter. Let me pull this shit up. Because I found this shit so interesting, bro. I found this shit so interesting. Let me go to my bookmarks and see if it's there. Oh, wait, am I? No, I'm not in my bookmarks. I thought it was in my bookmarks. Where's it at? There's Dr. Claude Anderson himself. We're going to get to this video. A lot of these videos we're going to get to. I just want to go to this one for now. I can't find it. Where's it at? Where is it? Niggas for Dad shirt, bro. This shit, we're going to talk about that, bro. That's the geek. That shit is the geek. I can't find this shit. Well, I know the dude commented under a Caleb Maupin post, so we're going to go to that. I'm going to go to his page and find the guy through that. Because this shit blows my mind, bro. This shit really blows my mind. Where's that? Oh, yeah, I heard they cut the Gray Zone's funding, too. We may look into that as well. We're gonna talk about bricks. We're gonna talk about all that. It's just gonna be in a more chill fashion. Like, I'm not gonna be pulling up like articles and shit and all that. It's just gonna be me talking. Where's this shit at? I can't find. Where is it at? Here it is. So it was this one. Here we go. This guy. Xenophobia is 21st American Nazism. And he said Danny Hyde. So Caleb was criticizing Danny Hyde. He's been criticizing Danny Haifong. They have a beef or whatever. I don't know much about it. But regardless, he responded under Caleb's post talking about Danny Haifong is a fraudulent huckster who mines anti-Asian hate and blatantly runs interference for black on Asian hate crimes for woke liberal points. So here we talk about, the media has fed us lies about anti-Asian hate. It's not a black on Asian problem. It's a white imperialism problem. Has been for nearly 2 centuries, which Danny's right on. Then the Black Agenda Report wrote an article saying violence directed at Asians has skyrocketed since the emergence of the COVID-19, blah, 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 all that shit. Well, this whole narrative about Asian hate, period, whether they're saying it's black people doing it or whoever, but this whole narrative on Asian hate was laughed at by white people. Get the fuck out of here. They looked at it like BLM. That was originally the new BLM. But then these motherfuckers started changing their tune and started deflecting the blame towards niggas. And they started saying shit like, oh, most of these most of these hate crime, they're being committed by black people in these crime-ridden black neighborhoods where we have all of our businesses set up where there used to be black businesses, but now it's Korean businesses there because we worked hard and immigrated here and earned it. But now that they're deflecting the blame on niggas instead of white people, the conservative base and some of the liberal base, but mostly conservative, have picked that up and have been using that as a hammer, an anti-black hammer and wedge to shit on black people and divide the black and Asian community. And again, Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that in this book. I'm going to keep fucking putting this book up here until somebody in the media sphere starts talking about it, besides that has a bigger mic than mine. My mic pretty big. Your boy. But look, I recognize there's bigger fish out there than me. I'm a little minnow or whatever them little fish is and shit. But I'm pushing this book again, not because I agree with everything Dr. Claude Anderson is saying and a lot of his sentiments in his book, but because this is a great analysis of the rat race that capitalism forces people in, especially minorities. And I wish people would talk about this book, because the same people I want to talk about this book, and I want to be reading this book and talking about the points he's making in this book, I want them to be pushing this out here so we can start dialogue to actually form solidarity and not this bullshit unity that everybody is talking about. And, unfortunately, like I said, black people get the brunt of it because we're, at the lowest point in the totem pole. Black wealth is lower than it was during Jim Crow. Most people don't know that. I will say that again. Black wealth is lower than it was during Jim Crow. And that's what the billionaires we got now. Multi-millionaires and billionaires we got in black wealth is still low where it's at. So... And I know this is going to lead up to Trump and everything and the mugshot, but this is what was on my mind when I first came in here. But, when niggas want something, we don't get it. And when niggas want something that's going to be at the cost of another group, regardless of what race it is, we definitely not getting that shit. And if that group that it's taking something from is white people, we're definitely not getting. Nigga, that's not even a dream, nigga. That's like a dream in the corner of your dream that you can like see out the corner of your eye, but you can't really fully see it. That ain't happening, nigga. Bro, niggas is asking for police, not even abolishment or going that extreme. We're asking for mild police reform, like what's in the George Floyd bill. And we can't even get that. And that is something that does not just help Black Americans, it also helps white Americans. And this is why it leads up to Trump, because when they throw his ass in jail, if it happens, I think it's going to happen because they don't want him to run. When they throw his ass, in fucking jail, you think these fucking white people going to sit by and let that shit happen? No. You're going to see January 6th, but around the whole fucking country. And then who's going to be the ones that's going to throw y'all white asses in jail? The police. And then just like when Marjorie Taylor Greene, I like to call her Marjorie Taylor Mayonnaise, but when Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these motherfuckers come abolish the FBI, when it was Trump, they're going to be saying the same fucking thing about the police, bro. Watch. I promise you. And that's the thing. Leo, we may do a Thomas Sowell video just so I could like debunk a lot of the shit he says, but I don't pay. Look, I don't pay these coon ass niggas attention. That's just me personally. Like, I don't pay Candace Owens no mind. I don't pay, Larry Elder any mind. Like when Larry Elder, everybody was saying, "Oh, Larry Elder destroyed the Breakfast Club." Yeah, I'm like, Larry Elder literally went on the Breakfast Club and spouted antiquated data about fatherless homes and black, like literally. So, all right, I'll give you an example. I have a family member who is not married to the woman of his kids. This family member is very active in his kids' lives. I've witnessed this shit because I live with these niggas. I've witnessed this shit. Takes them to school, brushes their teeth. He's there. But under the data Larry Elder is pulling, that will be considered a fatherless situation or a fatherless home because he is not married to the mother, which is fucking crazy. They've literally been doing studies, multiple studies, or CDC studies White people like to laugh at the CDC. So I'm like, literally, Larry Elder's pulling his data from the CDC too. I hope you know this, because they're the people that are doing these studies. But regardless, there has been studies saying that black men are the most involved in their children's lives. These conservatives won't learn a damn thing when they college. Exactly. But we're continuing. Black men are the most involved in their children's life. Nigga, I've witnessed this shit, bro. I've witnessed this shit. Even look, there's certain, and people that's been a stereotype that's been, pushed for decades. But whether the father's married to the mother, because that's mostly what that's how the data is recorded. They're saying that since the father isn't married to the mother, that is a fatherless home. But the father could see the kids every day, live down the street with her. Like Kanye's situation. This nigga moved right next door or across the street to Kim, whatever it was. Seeing them I don't know if he was seeing them every day, but he was still involved in his children's lives. That is now considered a fatherless home, which is crazy to me. It's lunacy. And it's a narrative that they want to push to say as if, if we put more fathers in a house, that's going to create better circumstances for black Americans, because they want to ignore the powernomics. They want to ignore the economics behind everything. They don't want to talk about reparations. They don't want to talk about police. They don't want to talk about how business loans are allocated in America. They don't want to talk about immigration. And a lot of other things I can list. They don't want to talk about those things because those things benefit the dominant society, and a dominant society in America is white America. And then you have their little lapdogs that come here and kiss ass. The problem with niggas is that we've always bucked that system. Even some of the, the older capitalists and everything, they used to buck a lot of that system. I'm a person that disagrees with the similar things to Kaleo. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What is yay moppinism, Leo? You're going to have to explain that to me. What is that? Yo, you hold up. All right, I'm about to get through this last point, and then I'm going to post the link, because I would like to hear from you, Leo. I'll post the link. So I got a Discord open where you can hop in there and talk to me. But let me finish this point, and then I'll post it down below. And if you want to hop in, you can hop in. But, regardless, like I was saying, they push this fatherless homes bullshit. Then they pivot to black people are all criminals and everything. They're undeserving of economic development, so they don't have to do it. That's the game. That is the whole game. Oh, pulling a hot. Haas actually posted something. While I'm here, and you guys are on YouTube too, so I don't have to post it everywhere. I am going to post that link. Give me 1 second. Let me go to Discord so I could get it first. How do you invite people? All right, well, I'm posting the link down below. By the way, y'all, let me know if I'm coming in clear or not, too. Just let me know if I'm coming in clear, because sometimes my jaw be tripping. Yeah, whatever. Here's the link for the Discord. I'm hoping it works. So, like, whoever, if y'all want to hop in, go ahead and hop in. I'm not seeing much activity from, the other platforms. So I'm just going to go ahead and just keep it on YouTube for now. Okay, cool. Thanks, Chris. But the link is down below. You guys can hop in. I would like to hear your thoughts, but I'm just going to keep, I'm going to continue. But yeah, so like that, that's my thing. Like, people want to ignore that and continuing, on my point, about Trump, again, this goes to my thing that I was saying in my last stream when I was talking about the whole RFK Jr. and Pasta situation. Like, niggas is supposed to care about white issues when it, when issue like these are issues that have been affecting Black Americans for generations and decades, but now we're supposed to care because it's a white issue now because it's affecting white people. When the crack epidemic came through, they packed those prisons, whether it was Reagan or fucking Biden and Clinton, because these fucking white YouTubers don't talk about that shit. They only talk about fucking Biden and Clinton, but Reagan, all of them did it. Every single fucking one of them did it. And during the crack epidemic, when these people needed help, not fucking prison, but now that little Timmy's fucking overdosing on opioids, now it's a crisis. It's a crisis because it's a fucking white crisis. And again, that's not to dismiss the plights that people have. These are serious things. And they're horrible things that are happening to these people and to these families. The problem is that when you've ignored this with Black people so much, and not even ignored, but just actively is, just spouted vitriol and like disbelief, like this isn't really happening to y'all. Stop, shut up, as if we're just making this shit up. That's what bothers me. And what bothers me more is that people care about these issues, not because it's just happening to their loved ones, but because it's happening to a fucking politician, bro. Like I don't know if y'all understand how just like disrespectful that shit is. So it's not even that y'all care about this issue because like you have loved ones that are going through it, but because fucking a politician is going through it. And that's what just infuriates me the most. And that's where I say we can't have no fucking unity. We need solidarity. And we need to hear each other's plights and educate each other. And this is why I keep saying I will keep fucking pulling this. I'm going to pull this book up more probably through. You know what I'm thinking about doing? I'm thinking about reading through this book and posting it on YouTube. So like I'll record myself reading a chapter and post it on YouTube for y'all. Let me know if that's something y'all would like. Because I know some people don't like reading. I know some people like listening to books. So, but yeah, the mugshot is funny, bro. The mugshot is funny because it's like it's doing the opposite of what Democrats thought it would do. Like they're giving red meat to their voters, but they don't realize that they're like emboldening a lot of fucking people and a lot of people that, if they would have never arrested Trump, if they would honestly, all they had to do was just not talk about the nigga. Because he's not on Twitter. He's on Truth Social. Nobody's fucking on there except his supporters. If they would have just shut the fuck up, they're literally going to lose because of their hubris, just like Trump lost in 2020 because of his hubris. I stand by this. I swear to God. If Trump would have just shut the fuck up, gone to the debates, not act like a fool during the debates, because people don't realize, like, most people they don't give a fuck about what y'all talking about. The only thing they care about is the economy. The economy was bad at the time, regardless of whether it was Trump's fault or not. Bro, I seen that. Yo, the war pup on Twitch, bro. I've been seeing that. Bro, that shit is so tough, bro. I saw somebody design the fucking mugshot with the black line across, and then they kind of like graded out a little bit too. Bro, I saw that t-shirt. That shit was tough, but your boy is fat as fuck, so I need a fat as fuck size, bro. These niggas talk about a 2X. I'm like, nigga, that's coming up to my chest, bro. Come on, dog. I got a gut. You gotta give me. Come on, man. But that joint, I seen that shit online, bro. That joint is so fucking tough, bro. And they don't realize. But again, they're making him popular, bro. Like there is a Fox News poll where it's like his poll, it went from like 8% or something support from Black Americans, and now it's at 20. Now it's Fox News. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt, but still, regardless, I feel like Candace Owens like voted 20 times in that poll. Larry Elder was like, I vote 10 times, but people, this video from this bull. Let me find it. Where is it at? Here it is. Can y'all hear the video? Hop in the chat and let me know if y'all can hear it. I just need to know so I'm not playing it and y'all can't hear this shit. I'm going to assume y'all can hear it. I hate when it does that. Oh, you cannot. You can't hear the video. All right, let me fix it up. Let me fix that. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys.
Video of Trump going down to be indicted in Atlanta, and there was neighborhoods of African American.
All right, you should be able to hear it now. Let me turn it back on. Screen capture. All right, here we go again. Let's try it again.
This indictment is causing black people to support Donald Trump more. They had a video of Trump going down to be indicted in Atlanta, and there was neighborhoods of African Americans cheering for Trump because they understand how they have been done by the system. They understand that their people have been attacked by the system for generations. So they see this attack on Trump and they relate to it, and it's causing most of them. All I saw on TikTok was people supporting Trump. And I think this indictment that this corrupt DA did is going to backfire. And it's going to have droves of people that support him that never would have supported him before. This indictment.
And also, I will say this. I will say this. He's also being indicted. And unfortunately, like I said, we got black people have a lot of ignorance in our community. But Trump is also, he's being indicted, I believe, by the same prosecutor that is indicting Young Thug in the YSL case. So with ignorant ass niggas, that'll play a factor. And I have no qualms about calling an ignorant ass nigga because an ignorant ass nigga, they standing outside cheering for Trump. Meanwhile, this is the nigga talking about executing drug dealers. And, you know, and especially I think he was in zone 6 where he got his mugshot done and all that, where he turned himself in was in zone 6. So yeah, that, you know, a lot of that happens down there. So he's talking about executing a lot of y'all niggas out there cheering. So that's where it's like, you know, people don't understand politics enough. Our people don't understand politics enough, which again, this man talks about in his book. I'm going to be talking about this book a lot because he talks about that in his book. But yeah, so they're, you know, and look, like I said, they're going after him for political reasons. Do I think he's 100% innocent? Fuck no. Nigga, because the whole thing is kaput if he never made that phone call talking about fine electors. Now, regardless of what he meant by that, it's just certain situations. So when you a white man, you don't think, yo, I'm not even going to put myself in this fucking situation because I know how it could look with Johnny Law. Like, they don't think that, though, because they used to being able to do whatever the fuck they want to. But now, because Trump, in some ways, very few ways, crossed the establishment in the system, they looking at him a different way now. You know, his white card is in check. Wait, my nigga, what? It's like, And this shows the distortions between white America and black America. To some of these ignorant ass black niggas, oh, you never seen Friday before, bro? I'm taking your black card for the dumbest shit. Oh, you listen to country music or eating? I'm taking your black card because like I listen to all types of music because one, I'm a music producer as well, but like I just like listening to all types of music. Nigga, I got caught listening to EDM one day. Not even got caught. Somebody heard me listening to EDM one day. He was like, oh, I don't know, bro. You may be one of them boys. I'm like, what the fuck that mean, nigga? I remember this was a Republican Party, but they like, exactly, bro. Exactly. The black, like, these are the same niggas that's saying y'all don't deserve reparations because y'all all criminals and lazy. Talking about all black Americans, wherever they go, they destroy, you know, the value of the community. Meanwhile, we built some of the most valuable communities in American history that they came in and stole from us. But like, so it's like, that's just funny on its face. Like, you're talking about a group of people that because we were in an apartheid system where we were locked out of the local economies because it was a, you know, apartheid system, we had to go and build our fucking own that was formidable, so formidable to theirs that they had to burn that shit down. They couldn't defeat it with policy back in the day, so they had to burn that shit down. And then finally, they figured out how to defeat it with policy via integration. Because now that you're integrated with us, we just going to make a policy. Because before, the policy wasn't really applicable to us because the policy didn't have us in mind. It only had building up and developing white communities in mind. So we had to go and build up and develop our own fucking communities, which we fucking did. Let me pull up this video that I kept talking about with Dr. Claude Anderson when he was talking about that.
Up to the 1940s, we had black broom factories, we had black mattress factories. Almost every black major city had at least 2 cab companies. We had black bus companies. We had black shipyard up here in Baltimore. When I say black bus lines, I'm not talking about just having 3 or 4 buses. We had over 500 buses, and this is in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. And our bus company didn't just service just the black neighborhoods; it serviced the blacks and the white neighborhoods. We had 2 black cab companies. We had the Harris Cab Companies and the Campbell City Cab Companies. But they used to have their own restaurants. They had the best nightclubs in the country. The blacks had 2 baseball leagues. Each baseball league had 8 teams. We had over 500 of the best baseball players in the world. But what did they do? They wanted to integrate. So as soon as they put Jackie Robinson on the Brooklyn Dodgers, black folks said, we'll give up all of our black baseball leagues, black teams, and all our black players, and we can just get one black boy to play on a white team.
And he's making an argument that a lot of black people make, regardless of how you fucking white, communist, liberals, whatever the fuck you are, regardless of how you feel about it, a lot of fucking black people feel that way. I definitely know a lot of white people feel that way. Trust and believe. I know a lot of white people feel that way. You know. Yeah, bro. I'm going to talk about Ice Cube probably Friday. I'm going to do a stream Friday, like a more planned stream. This is more impromptu because I've been busy this fucking weekend with work and, you know, some other things. Y'all know how life is. But, well, yeah. I actually take this time to plug the show real quick because I didn't plug the show at the top. Like, dog, y'all got to remind me to plug the show, bro. But as always, like, subscribe, and share. Emphasis on all that. Go show love on the Patreon if you can. We got some videos. I don't put shit behind paywalls, so y'all could go ahead and watch it, you know, if you want to. It would be greatly appreciated if you could leave a contribution, help keep the channel up and running. A more direct way you can help keep the channel up and running. We got the Cash App listed down below. I don't have Venmo for it or anything yet because you got to use your government with all that shit. With Cash App, so far I haven't had to use my government with American Autopsy, but I ain't trying to put my government in because I have a Cash App already with my like personal information, but I ain't trying to have a Cash App. I would like a separate cash. Regardless, Cash App is I'm out here talking like shit that don't got concern with y'all. But you can show love on the Cash App as well. That's down below. It should be $ American Autopsy. So show love if you can. It will be greatly appreciated. It helps keep the show up and running. Boom, now that the plugs are done, let's keep going. But like Dr. Claude Anderson was saying in that video, bro, it's like, you know, we had our own fucking industries. And then because of this yearning to integrate, which I don't agree with, or I don't disagree with, I'm not a person, I don't believe in people separating themselves off into different corners, especially when you exist in a system of capitalism. However, we got the short end of the stick in integration. It's like, oh, you guys can come go to white schools and play in white ball leagues. And then eventually, it became less and less taboo for you to, integrate and have white spouses and shit like that. And that's like, all right, that's all fine and dandy. But like, what about the economics for my people? Where the reparations? Where's the police reform at this point now? Like I said, I think we're at a point of abolishment now. Where are all these things that is needed for a community to truly have self-determination? Y'all empower every other group except Black Americans. And I talk about this a lot with my friends and my homies, but the Italian community is a perfect example of that. Here you had a integration was a trap, but Italian Americans, had high crime rates because of they were essentially seen as niggas when they first came to America. Italian, especially the darker skinned ones, but they were seen as niggas. They, almost on the same level as niggas. They lived in black neighborhoods because they were shunned and ran out of the white neighborhoods. And all that shit. And then they had a rampant crime rate as well. The crime rate, I believe, was higher than the Black American crime rate. That's where you have the whole mafia shit coming from and everything. But what happened? They were welcomed into the fold because most of them could pass for white. They were welcomed into the fold. They were given governments. The government basically subsidized that community to, where they are now. Now, I'm not saying all Italian American households are dripping with wealth, but you guys have significantly more wealth than Black Americans. And that was because of the investment that the government made into you at that time period. To the point now where the culture, and I've heard this from multiple people, Italian Americans. I have friends that are Italian Americans that tell me this. Well, we don't like the portrayal of the mafiosa Italian shit. But guess what? It's there, and y'all shit is Scorsese is considered a film. What the fuck is it? A cinema god, bro, to the point where he can dictate what is and isn't cinema. And all he's doing is like putting forth stereotypes about Italian people. But meanwhile, let fucking Spike Lee tell a story about, the Black experience in America, whether it's Do the Right Thing or Jungle Fever or The Five Bloods, whatever the fuck it is. And his films are controversial. The fuck out of here, bro. You see that difference right there, bro? Just right there. Y'all get to decide the representation of yourselves. We don't. How we get to represent ourselves is always determined by how other groups will react to it. Oh, well, you can't say that because white people are going to feel this way about it. Oh, well, you can't say that because Asian people are going to feel this way about it. Oh, you can't say that. Maybe if you change the scene a little bit more to make this group feel comfortable. Get the fuck out my face, nigga. Y'all don't tell any other fucking group that shit. Scorsese literally has lines in his films where he talks about how, go sell the drugs to the niggas or niggers. They say the hard ER. But yeah, so get the fuck out of my face with that. And I'm not saying he was doing that. I'm not saying he was doing that to be racist. I think he was trying to make a political statement possibly about that. I don't know, because it was a line in passing. I believe it was in Goodfellas. But regardless, the point that I'm making is Italian Americans have a choice on how they want to be represented in media and culture within America. Black people don't have that option. Other groups dictate how we are represented in America. And that's the God's honest truth about it. So, but man, and it's like the more I think about it, and so, yeah, Chris, you're right. Segregation, go sell the drugs to the exactly. That's what they said. So I think they both it was a lose-lose situation, and I think people at the time, chose what they thought was right. You had people like Malcolm that was talking about it was wrong, but then Malcolm went and took his ass. And let's get into this point. And this will be my final point, because I saw Caleb talking about this. And y'all already know Caleb is somebody that I respect. He's been on this show. He's been very informative in my journey through Marxism and things like that and learning about it. But we have disagreements in the religious, I would say we have disagreements. We have disagreements on, I would say a lot of things, but some things, a lot of things, whether it's drugs. He has a pretty hard line stance on being anti-drug. He's for people doing what they want to do with their bodies, as far as I know, but his personal view is anti-drug. And religion, that's a big one for me. Religion. Caleb is very religious. He's a Christian, and I respect that. My whole family's fucking religious, bro. I literally had to deal with this shit. Like I had a conversation with a family member, came downstairs, we're talking, and he saw all my like communist books. I swear to God, this nigga picked up my Imperialism, the highest stage of capitalism, right? Written by Lenin. He picked that up and said, this is all Satan. This is the devil. That's my family. That's my family. They think communists are evil devils and shit. So trust me, bro. I deal with religious people. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. But what was I saying? Yeah, man, the Green Book is scary stuff. The scene that really brought the Green Book to life for me, I didn't see the movie The Green Book, but what's the fucking show with Jonathan Majors? Oh my God, Lovecraft Country. That scene when they go into the fucking diner, bro. Oh my God, I've literally heard family members talk about that shit. Older family members talk about shit like that happening to them, or when they were in the woods and the cop pulled them over, or no, they were in the town and the cop pulled them over in the sundown town and they're racing to get out before the sun go. Bro, I've heard these stories from family members, bro. So I know. But religion. I already know I'm fighting a losing battle when I say this, but my one of my goals is, along with turning black people towards Marxism and socialism, because I believe that is the best route for us, it's also to turn us away from religion, because I feel like we are worshiping the gods of our former enslavers. Whether you're worshiping the Arab man's God in Islam, whether you're worshiping the white man's God with Christianity or their rendition of it, whatever. Really, it's all the Arab man shit, because all of that shit comes from fucking the Middle East. But whatever it is, we should not be partaking in that. And I'm a person, I don't know where I'll come down on the pro-black spectrum. Like I said, sometimes I feel like a person without a home politically and socially as well, because it's just certain shit like the whole freedmen, ADOS, Negro movement and all that. I can't get with them because I don't like how they talk about immigrants. Like, yes, we have our issues with immigrants and it needs to be addressed, but I wouldn't say I'm anti-immigration. Based solely on the concept that I don't want black people fighting for scraps, at a table when there's not, like, this myth of scarcity that they create amongst people is crazy. Like this we're all like, because that is the root of this book, which is why I disagree with it. But the surrounding analysis that he creates, I think, is a good framework to take to extrapolate and posit it from a Marxist lens, which is what I'm working on. But part of the root of this book is talking about that, is that in this, vast game of capitalism where there's scarce resources and everything, I'm like, I don't agree with that. It's the illusion of scarcity. We have more than enough food in this country to feed people. We have more than enough housing in this country to feed people. We're the richest country that has ever existed on the face of the fucking planet. And then when you throw modern money theory into that, what Stephanie Kelton talks about, and I listen to a lot of Mark Blythe as well. Even though I feel like Mark Blythe is kind of undercutting this brick shit a little bit. Like, I was watching this recent lecture with him, and I may cover it Friday, where he was like kind of undercutting bricks. He's not saying that he doesn't think it's feasible. Like, he's not shitting on bricks, but I think he's discounting a lot of the moves that they're making right now. Now, no, this speech was from 2 months ago, so I got to hear from him now. I probably should scroll through his Twitter to see what he's saying now. But from the speech that I saw, or the interview or whatever it was that I saw from like 2 months ago, he was sounding pretty delusional about what bricks is doing right now. And we're going to say bricks for Friday too, because I got to hop off here soon. So I'm gonna have a more concise, regular show Friday. But I may do like a Bendu stream of thought tomorrow, but I'm just like, I know I'm definitely gonna be back Friday. But this illusion, I don't want us as a people going along with that thought, because that's not the fucking case. You have a group of people at the top, a small group of people at the top that are hoarding all of the resources and hoarding all of the wealth and allocating scraps based upon who will kiss their ass more. It just so happens that that group at the top are white people. Somebody's on here? Hello, if you want, go ahead and talk. That just scared the shit out of me. Whoever that was, y'all scared the shit out. I forgot I had the Discord open. I was like, who there? I was about to turn around, but who there? Yeah, go ahead, Chris. If you want to hop on, go ahead and hop on, man. Like I said, give me your thoughts. Whatever you thinking. Okay, bet. But and I'm saying it's rich white people at the top, but unfortunately, it's the Chris Rock joke. He made, he said there's nothing a white man with a penny hates more than a nigga with a nickel.
Hello?
Yo, Chris?
Yeah.
Hey, what's good, man? How you doing?
Yeah, what's happening?
Not much, bro. What you got to say, man?
For a couple seconds I didn't think I really had anything to say, because you say a lot of things that I have been thinking for a very long time. But I guess it's when you brought up the bit about black people and religion. Like, I've seen a lot of the same problems that you've seen, but at the same time, I still don't feel black people need to depart from Christianity. I do see the problem with the divisiveness between like Islamic faith and Christian faith amongst black people, but I don't know. Maybe we could work that out. Like I don't think black people need to decouple themselves from faith. Like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like when you see these like black nationalists, it's like they want you to convert to a whole other religion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
And I guess I guess my response, I guess my response to that would be, it's not necessarily just about divisiveness amongst us, but I would say it's more so that we're willing to accept certain shit on the basis that, oh, this white man is the same color as me, so maybe I can put reparations to the side for the sake, because we're all God's children. We're all under Allah. That's my thing. Like Malcolm was spitting some shit. Then he went over to Mecca and saw a white Muslim. We're not all God's children, but all of those God's children ain't acting like we are also God's children, given how the economics and the pie is split up. So like me, like I said, I'm more agnostic, closer to atheism. I don't care what your faith is, but I'm saying let's get together and fight on these economic issues and not capitulate for whatever reason, whether it's religious or non-religious. But I definitely see the religion being a thorn in our side. But also, when you go back to our people, originally from Africa, you get a lot of the ADOS and Friedman, even though I agree with them a lot. It's almost like they try to reject Africa as if we're indigenous to America, which is fucking crazy to me. Because when you read any of the works that they cite to say this, like those works, like Dr. Henry Clark, Sheikh Anta Diop, all these different people, they clearly state that we came from Africa, but we migrated to these areas. But when you look at our religious faith, like when you look at the Dogon tribe, which is one of the oldest, cultural religious groups in the fucking world, their shit is scientific based, even though it is, hokey and things like that, but it's based in a material reality of the universe as a whole. Like they understand the cosmos in ways that they really shouldn't understand. And then when you go to other areas of Africa, like Africa has the first what is it called? It's called the African Stonehenge, but I forget exactly. I
The
think
Shango
astrolot.
bone.
Yeah,
Okay.
all of this shit, bro. Like mathematics, science, astronomy, all of it. Like we were always a scientific based people. So to see us worshiping the hokey gods, and again, I'm not trying to. I understand people have their beliefs, so I'm not trying to. I'm trying to mince my words and or
Mhm.
curb them, not be disrespectful. But to see us worshiping the superstitious gods of other groups is just it's so upsetting to me, and it's so sad to see sometimes.
Like for me, okay, that's a lot. Um, I guess you from the only place I could start from is first of all in the Bible. Like I can't remember the exact scripture. You know what I mean? I can never remember the exact scripture, but I remember the sentiments behind it, right? And it's like there's one scripture that where I think Jesus says, if you have two coats and your brother has none, take the coat, the extra coat you have and give to your brother. Or like if your brother has two sandals, sorry, if you have two sandals but your brother has none, you take the extra sandal and give to your brother, right?
Hmm.
What I think the problem in America is, I guess the reason, maybe one reason why people are losing faith in Christianity is maybe like people kind of aren't following it, because I think the if you're gonna say America's a Christian nation, okay, they conquered all the indigenous people and tried to disappear all them in a not so nice way, and then they put black people to hard labor for a long time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that happened. So if you're gonna say if you're a Christian nation, there's some things that that requires of you. There's some things that your faith should lead you to do. So that means that your faith would your faith would lead you to reconcile these deeper long-standing issues. But as a for instance, like Tariq Nasheed, he might say some crazy things, but he said one honest thing. He said like when you have the kind of racist system in America that you don't have a justice system, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
maybe
true.
in a sense the racist system is killing the religion as well, right? Because the founding fathers, when when the people landed on Plymouth Rock and the founding fathers did 1776, it was a win for the dominant society, but it wasn't a win for black people and Asian people and indigenous people. Like indigenous people were supposed to disappear. Asian people were supposed to build the railroads, and black people were supposed to do all the jobs under the sun, right? But if you believe in Christianity, really believe in it, then your desire would be to correct all those problems, right? But as we know, there's something a little bit more sinister going on in American society. So I guess that's probably why people. That's one of the reasons why people are losing faith in like when you look at Christianity. Like once I messaged you once too on Twitter, but I was telling you like some of the first like victims of religious persecution by the Catholic Church were other Christians. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like other Christians, like they had
Like,
Christian
wasn't it
groups.
like
Like
the Orthodox Christians and shit like that because they wouldn't convert over to Catholicism?
my history is a little bit spotty on this, but with the Catholic Church, they split and had a schism, right? Because
Hmm.
you got to remember like the Catholic Church is the Roman Church, the universe. Catholic means universal, so it means universal church, right?
Hmm.
So I guess as the Roman Empire began to split, right? You had the Western Empire that had the church in Rome, and you had the Eastern Empire because the Roman Empire split, and you had two emperors, right? So I don't want to say too much crazy things because my history is spotty on this, but I guess the Eastern Roman Empire took Christianity in one direction, the Orthodox religion, in the
Hmm.
Western Empire took it in the direction of Catholicism,
Yeah,
right?
that's what I've always been like of the understanding of was that, and surprisingly, I don't know if you watched The Brilliant Idiots with Charlamagne Scott and Andrew Schultz. They were actually just talking
Yeah,
about this. Yeah, they were just talking about this, and that's why Russian people and a lot of those people, like more in the East, worship like they go along with Orthodox Christian beliefs and everything, and the Catholic Church is more Western, like they're more open to to like sexuality and other shit like that. Which for me, and again, like I said, I'm a non-believer. For me, it's all like okay, like you guys can have your disagreements and everything, but what are you doing for your societies? You feel, and that's why like I have more
yeah,
critiques for like the Western church, I would say, than the Orthodox church. Because say what you want about Putin, I may not agree with a lot of his social views and all that shit,
hmm
but he be standing behind niggas. The ones in Africa, he be
yeah,
standing behind
yeah,
niggas. I'm riding with y'all. And then on top of that, he's actually making the material lot, the material realities of his people better. Like
yeah.
objectively, from when he came in the '90s, Russia is better off than before he was there. Objectively, you
hmm
can't deny that.
So like where I was headed, just going back to the church thing for a sec.
Hmm.
The Roman Catholics, they had all kinds of crazy what do you call it? Inquisitions,
I remember
right?
those. Yeah.
So the first people they did inquisitions against were the Albigenses, and then they did inquisitions against the Cathars, right? The
Mm.
Cathars and the Albigenses were Christians that had slightly different beliefs on Christianity, a little bit different than the Catholic interpretation, and the Catholics wiped them out for it, right?
Mm.
So it's like, um, I think the point I was trying to make is that as black people, I noticed we feel that Christianity was made to subjugate and oppress us, but I don't think that's the case because before we were being oppressed, wi- before the faith was unjustly weaponized against us, it was weaponized against European people first, right?
Hmm.
And like I no, don't think I'm saying that in a coonish way, but like yeah, the Catholics they had like because I learned this in European history class. I have like a long documentary about it. Maybe I can send it to you. It might like change things for you, but like the Catholic Church had a very strict interpretation of the Bible. Like they wouldn't let anybody hear preaching of the Bible in their native language. You know what I mean? The Catholic churches was like teething people with tithe money. They had all kinds of corruption. Like they had something called indulgences, where if you paid the priest enough money, they could pray your family member, your dead family member, out of hell and out of
Hmm.
perdition,
Isn't that where
right?
the
And
whole
into heaven.
purgatory thing came
You
from?
know, um, like that. That's a real mind screw. You know, um,
Yeah. Is that where the concept of purgatory came from as well?
yeah. Purgatory was supposed to be like in the afterlife. Concept of purgatory, where it's between the and you had people like William Tyndale, I think the guy's name is, and it's like the Catholic Church would persecute them for trying to translate the Bible so that like the average farm boy could hear it in their language, right?
Hmm.
Like there was one dude who tried to translate the Bible, and because the Catholic Church couldn't get him and burn him in the stake in life, they dug up his bones and they burned his bones.
Wow.
That's how vicious these people were,
That's
right?
that's petty, bro.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
That's the
So
next
it's
level
like,
petty.
yeah, I can't remember the dude's name at the moment, but yeah. So like,
That's like showing up
yeah,
at
like,
somebody's funeral and be like, "God rest his soul," but that nigga owed me money. Bro.
yeah, 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 yeah. So Christianity itself is a victim to black people. Like, it's coming to us secondhand from the hands of victimizers, right? So I guess maybe that's why we get a corrupt version of the faith, and you know, what I mean, they gave us a slave Bible and all that craziness, right?
Hmm.
But like in the Caribbean, as a for instance, there were some real Christians, like what do you call them guys? I think the Quakers. They sold themselves into slavery just to preach the gospel to black people in
Oh yeah, the
Barbados, which
Quakers
is
are they're
just
big in
nuts.
Pennsylvania. That's like a whole Pennsylvania culture and like a Quaker founder or whatever. That's why it's called Pennsylvania. I think the guy who discovered Pennsylvania or whatever. I'm from Pennsylvania originally, but he was a Quaker. Like Quaker culture is what is big in
Hmm.
Pennsylvania. So
Yeah. So I can understand black people's problem with Christianity. I mean, for me, I had difficulties with faith myself because it's like it's geopolitics combined with faith and things like that, right? And it's like,
hmm
and even here, tell they didn't really grasp what was going on behind it, like AGEE, right? He'll be interesting for
I'm
you to
gonna look
look
that up
into because
after the
he
show.
created something called, it's a way to assist Israel geopolitically, right? And it's like I used to like I mean for me too, growing up during the war on terror, right, and seeing like the Christian church is so staunchly conservative, right? And it's like I just
Yeah.
noticed that those conservative blinders stop the church from seeing certain realities. You know what I mean? And it was yeah, it was tough. Like John Hagee, like like how the Muslims in France were protesting like hardcore in the last few months this year, right? They
hmm
were doing it back in 2004, right? Or 2003, 2004, 2005, right? And the reason being is like France has this deeply racist society, right?
Bro,
But I mean,
and it has this veneer that it's like progressive and opening and welcome, but it's like when you look at the history of
yeah,
how they've treated other people, like, and just looking at their colonial history up to Niger now, as we're seeing, it's like, yo, this shit is wild, bro.
yeah, yes, yes.
But I will.
Black Power Media,
Mhm.
they did a real good show interviewing other black actors. Yeah, 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 man. Okay, where was I going? Um, help me out here, man. I kind of
Oh,
forgot my train of thought right quick.
you Black Power Media, they did a video about France. I think you were about to say.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, so Muslims back in 2004 were rioting in France, right? And it's like they were rioting because France is a deeply racist society that kind of locks them out of society, right? And it's like here comes Pastor John Hagee in Texas. He has no idea. He's completely far, a million miles away from the issue, but his mind is addled by the war on terror. You know what I mean? And this dude is saying like these Muslims, they're out here trying to do what they failed to do during the Crusades. They're trying to come in, they're trying to take over Europe in a horde, right? And it's like, my dude, you have no idea what's going on there. You don't know about the racism in that society. You don't know X. You don't know Y. You don't know Z. You know what I mean? But
I've always seen the Crusades through the perspective of how most Americans view the Alamo, though. Like, we worship heroes at the Alamo.
mm,
Meanwhile, these were a bunch of fucking white people trying to take land from Mexico, and Mexico retaliated based upon that. And somehow they get painted as the villains. I mean,
yeah,
I may be wrong on that perspective, but that's how I read it. And I'm not trying to make it like a white people always wrong type thing, but
hmm
that's how it looks.
hmm
Like, yo,
hmm hmm hmm
like you're the bad guy when you
um,
retaliate to them.
uh, my history is a bit. I know I'm saying this again, but Yeah, my like I know a lot about all these things, but it's so much I can't stay on top of everything, right? I
Nah,
used to
bro, I feel
study
you.
this stuff a
It's so
lot.
history is intricate, bro. Like, and then like I've learned
Hmm.
things that where I thought I viewed something through this lens because I read it this way, but then I see a different perspective or different new information comes out. I'm like, yo, oh shit, this is like completely reworks everything I thought. So I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah.
Just like one of the things that took my mind for a spin was Tulsa. So I used to talk about Tulsa all the time as this pinnacle of black achievement in America, which it was. But this is why I have my critiques of when a lot of niggas like Dr. Umar, even Dr. Claude Anderson, I'm gonna hold the book up for everybody again. A lot of this shit he talks about in reference to black capitalism, where in Tulsa, most of the people in that fucking town were poor. The workers in that town were fucking poor. So not only were they getting stiffed by their black hierarchy, but then on top of that, after their hard work, then white people came and took what little they had and burned it to the fucking ground and killed them on top of that. So
Yeah. So yeah,
that,
yeah.
but learning that changed my perspective. But go ahead, man, continue because this is I'm really digging this convo.
Yeah, ultimately, like, yeah, like I guess the first thing I would say, like for like the last time you did a show and this time you did a show, like I just couldn't think of anything to say, right? Because it's like you don't want to just come on and then can't say anything, right? But it's like when you started talking about the religion, that got my mind going, and it's like, yeah, like I guess ultimately, like what I mean to say is I don't really necessarily think religion is black people's problem. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like I was talking about with my mom, and it's like religion helped black people get through some hard things, right? It's I don't think it's the faith issue. Maybe in part it's that like maybe we're getting away from the faith a little bit because I mean if America really believe in Christianity, I don't think like I mean really believe in it because like Jesus said true religion is caring for widows and orphans or like a lot of times in the Old Testament too, men, like God used to threaten the Israelites and say like, man, if you guys keep acting up and you don't get like moral, I'm gonna let like foreigners come and invade you and take you into slavery, right? And it's like
Oh,
God
God,
would threaten,
he was a
God would
goon in
threaten,
the Old Testament, bro.
but but there's a reason for that. Like God, he would threaten them with that because he would get so angry because like to God, like the most important thing is that he wanted his people to have respect and hospitality towards foreigners. He wanted them to care for the widows and he wanted them to care for orphans, right? That's what he
Okay,
wanted from them. But it's like
but they were
they
doing
I
the
guess
opposite.
they weren't doing it, right? So
Okay,
yeah, so because they weren't caring for widows, orphans, and they didn't respect foreigners, that's one of the things that made him so angry,
that
right?
sounds a lot like America.
And sadly, yes, yes. So like yeah, like and I mean Jesus, yeah, and like I said, Jesus said like true religion, caring for widows and orphans, and it's like yeah, like I mean going by that sentiment, you know what I mean? Because especially these conservative Christian conservatives too, it's sadly they have bought into the whole neoliberalism, hyper capitalism and all that. The whole pull yourself up by your bootstrap thing, like it, yeah, like um, hasn't changed the society in the way that it should. And
Okay.
I guess, and if it did change society in the way that it should, well then things would look a lot different.
I hear you, but let me offer this last point, and this will be my last point. So, from my perspective, right, I agree with all that. I think so. I'm not like if I became president tomorrow, I'd be joking about this shit all the time. But I'm going Homelander on all religious people. Like I'll be joking with my homie saying that. But in reality, because I do believe and some of the
Yeah.
tenets of America's Constitution in terms of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, those basic things. Let's stay away from the part where they say niggas is 3/4 or 3/5 or whatever. Let's stay away from that. But let's keep that fucking
Yeah.
freedom of speech, freedom, those things. But like I look at it like,
Hmm.
if I became president tomorrow, I wouldn't do anything to infringe upon religion. In fact, I would not bolster it, but give people the ability to do that in their private lives and in some form in the public space. I just don't think it should be in schools and things like that. But my personal disposition
Yeah.
on religion is that it's not necessarily just about hating Christianity. Like I feel like that's where a lot of religious people do think like more agnostic and atheist people like myself are coming from. But for me, it's coming from the perspective of a historical context and lens where, all of your stories in the Bible, we have renditions of that same story that is older than the Bible. These stories are like every single
Yeah.
civilization has some form of a deluge in the form of the Great Flood that has happened. And these stories are older than the Bible, before like Judaism, before any of these Abrahamic religions were even thought of. These stories have existed in different cultures, but because the church, and again, I'm not shitting on the people, but the institutions and the church, the Christian church, the Jewish church, the Islam, the Islamic, they burned a lot of that shit. They got rid of it. They were the original book burners. They got rid of a lot of that information. We don't know a lot about our history, not only because of conquerors, our human history, the history of humanity. We have gaps in our history not because of just conquerors, but also because of religious zealots, honestly. And I'm not calling all religious people zealots. That's not what I'm saying. But, a
I
lot of the
understand.
religion, yeah, the religious fervor led to a lot of missing history because they saw it as blasphemy. And, but also I look at it from the standpoint of, I don't think that like if you're basing the precipice of somebody to be humane, through because a book or God tells them to. For me, that to me is a bastardization of humanity, because you should be humane just because you are human. I don't need a gospel or a God or a book to tell me to go feed that homeless man on the street, because I'm going to do that because I see him suffering. You feel me? Like you should have that as a
Yeah.
human. You should, especially now because we're so technologically advanced, you should have that feeling. Like you shouldn't look at your neighbor struggling and say, "Oh, go fucking work harder. Go get a third or fourth job, you lazy motherfucker." Like, no. So that's where it's like, that part bothers me. But then also just the philosophical concepts behind it, that we always have to run facts, things that we discover in science by how people feel religiously. Like for as advanced as Iran is, like people sleep on how like advanced scientifically Iran is. Iran has made a lot of breakthrough and scientific research and studies, but unfortunately a lot of things they don't go far enough for their people where they could be developing certain things because of their religious holdups. And the same thing here in America, we have the same type of things here. I feel like I feel religion is something that is to be used for people, because that is and I was talking to a friend about this the other day. Some people need religion to be able to function daily. There are a lot of people out here that would lose their fucking minds by how fucking cruel this world is if there was no light at the end of that tunnel. If there was no God that's going to welcome them in his warm embrace when they die and things like that. Those concepts. They would lose their fucking minds. But that's where it's like, for me, I'm like, if that's the only this extremely flawed thing in my view is the only thing that y'all believe is holding society together, what does that say about humanity and how far we've gotten from being human beings just off of being human beings? Like we've essentially attributed everything great about humanity to this God, to the point that we don't even know how to be human without it. That's crazy to me. Where it's like, you don't need God to tell you to go
What
feed homeless people. Just go do it.
what I think the thing about the Bible is that I think what I'm coming to realize is that the Bible itself is not so much about telling you to go feed homeless people or to be a good person. That's actually that is I'm gonna use a kind of a negative term to speak to something positive. Feeding homeless people or or being a good person, that's kind of a symptom of a larger thing. And that the main thing about the Bible is trying to reconcile man back to God. That's the main idea. It's not about really teaching teaching you to be a good person per se. Um, all of that is a secondary result of you returning back to the original state you were supposed to be in as a human being. I think that's what the Bible is trying to say. It's trying to return people back to their original state.
And
Um,
I and
being
I
in unity with God. I think that's the idea.
and I guess like I feel that and I respect people that believe that, but for me that's just that's a hard rejection for me personally because it's like you know like and maybe maybe I've tumbled too deep into the commie hole. That was a joke purely, but like for me, I guess like this
Yeah,
concept
yeah,
of like you know trying to build a better society for the generation that comes after us. Because in my belief, like for me personally, I don't believe that in the concept of a soul. I don't believe we have souls. I believe we have consciousness, and whatever there's not a science to define. Like science can't tell you what happens when you die, just like science doesn't have an explanation of what your consciousness experienced before you were alive. But it's like my thing is that when we're looking at the immediate reality around us, and we see how bad the world is, and we just attribute that. I feel like a lot of religious people attribute that. Like you literally hear people say, "This is just a test." Nigga, no, this is not just the test. This is for like you're supposed to be building a better. Things are supposed to be progressively getting better for people after each generation, and regardless of how you feel about capitalism, things are significantly better than they were. People aren't running around, but at the same time, we have nuclear weapons now, where if people were running around just killing each other,
yeah.
we'd all be dead. But regardless, we're supposed to be building a better society. That's why I'm a Marxist and I believe in the principles of socialism and communism and all that, because I think that's the next step of humans evolving. But for me, it's like
Yeah.
um when I'm looking at certain trends and how people are moving, and I don't put the blame just on religion, but how we're essentially in many ways going backwards. And when I see like religion playing a part in that, it just infuriates me because, like I said, my beliefs I already cited in terms of like how for Black people, I don't believe we should be worshiping these gods personally, because of how as a people we have always been a scientific people. Even when we've been a religious people, we've never been a superstitious people. That I think that's the difference between us and a lot of other groups, is that we were never our religions were always based on nature. And so you're talking about the group of people who like understood nature in a way that other groups couldn't even fathom until generations later. But um just like religion for me is just we're supposed to be building a better world now, not just doing good things here to reunite with God in the afterlife. That's just that's my personal perspective on it. I respect people views otherwise, but for me, you make the like this is it for me. This is it. There's no after this. There's no before this. This time that we're in right now is it. You have to make it count as much as you fucking can, because this is it. There's nothing after this. There's nothing before this. There's like love as much as you can while you're here. Fucking if you're like you want to go out in a blaze of glory and bang as many chicks as you can with a bottle and a blunt in your hand, so be it. But and as long as you're not hurting people, from my perspective too. I'm very, I guess very
Yeah.
libertarian on that in that sense.
Yeah.
But in my like I said, my view, this is it, and we have to make the most of it while we're here, but also leave something better behind for the ones that will be coming after us. It's like it's this scene from this show on Netflix. It's called what is it? The Sandman. It's based off the DC or the Vertigo comics. That's
Yeah,
owned
I
by
saw
DC.
some of that. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
yeah, I
like
know what the saying.
yeah, they had the concept of death on there, and there was a woman, and everything like that. But she would go from person to person and escort them into the afterlife. And she went into this concept of like,
Yeah, I
what
saw that
happened?
episode.
Yeah, when there's the heat death of everything and all that, and like when everything dies, basically, she was like, it's like I'm putting all the chairs up on the table at the end of the night at a bar and just turning the lights out and leaving. Like that, I'm like, but until that happens, our goal is to keep that bar as clean as we possibly can. So it's a bar. It's going to be fucked in some ways. It's going to be drunk people fighting all the time. It's going to be a lot of bullshit happening in that bar. But our job as the bartender working there, and even as the patrons there, is to keep it as safe and clean as possible, as we possibly can. And that's just my perspective on it.
Well, you know what? Like Christianity is in is in a way of in full agreement with that because it's like in
I
this
think, I,
life.
and I think a lot of these religions are.
Yeah,
That's why I don't shit on them. As much as I like, for me, Christianity has, and I'll say this and I'll let you go. Um, for me, in
sure.
terms of bad ideas, I put Christianity and Islam, the Abrahamic religions, are right there for me. They're all right. It's like almost a neck for neck tie. Then the other ones, I'm just like, okay, y'all cool, whatever. It's a lot of shit I disagree with y'all about, whatever. But it's like the
You know, if
good
you
part. I was gonna say the good parts of those religions. Trust me,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
I grew up in a religious family. I know, bro. Trust me, I know. And I've met Islamic
yeah,
people. I've met some Jewish people as well. Like I'm not. I recognize the good that can come of these religions, which is why I'm not inherently like saying we need to ban all religion or anything like that.
yeah,
But I'm saying when you like y'all, it's kind of like how we talk to white people sometimes. Like I recognize that you not on some bullshit and you not racist, but you need to check the mofos that is. I think it's on religious people to check the mofos is running around saying fuck gay people or fuck this group of people or when they wilding out for whatever fucking reason. Oh my God tells me I gotta blow up half the world because of whatever. Da da da. I'm like nah, nigga, shut nah, because that's when the atheist bullshit start coming out of me when people start talking nonsense, talking about God and shit like that. I'm like, bro, look, I know you got your faith, but nigga, I live here. I need you to chill, bro. It's like when you at the bar,
yeah.
the drunk nigga that's wilding out. I'm not equating religious people to drunk people, but I'm saying in circumstances when you at the bar and the nigga that had too much to drink and he start wilding out, you don't always need a hard hand to come say, yo, nigga, chill. You need to, yo, come here, bro. Let me talk to you, bro. Yo, look, just relax. We all here. You feel me? I need religious people to do that sometimes when people start wilding out. When other religious people start wilding out. But go ahead, bro.
You, you know, if you want to talk offline, if you have a sec, you want to talk offline, we could do that because I know you only have so much time on the show.
Yeah. Well, tonight it's more so time constraints because I'm going to a friend's house. He's actually texting me. He can wait though. But
Oh,
um,
well, that's fine. That's fine.
but we
Yeah.
yeah, bro, we talk all the time, bro. We got to talk offline. I may actually take some time when I get off stream. So, but go ahead and give me your last thoughts. I can go ahead and close the stream out, and we can talk offline.
Last thoughts.
Yeah,
Mm,
this is a fire ass conversation, bro. I can't wait to clip this shit, and post it.
damn, I don't know what my last thoughts could be. um,
Yo, you say you from Canada, right?
yeah, yeah,
Bro,
yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
I hear I hear the accent a little bit. I usually can't tell the accent. Like people's like the only accents I can really tell are like deep South people because I've been in like the
Mhm.
Carolinas and all that shit. And I have well, my stepfather's family is from fucking straight up Louisiana. So like I've heard, but I hear accent a little bit. That's what I was saying. I was hearing a little bit.
I see. Okay. Um, yeah, like I guess my family's Caribbean and like I guess the black people from the Caribbean have kind of their own kind of dialect here that grew up here have their own a bit of their own dialect. Um, shoot, I guess last words, man. You know, I guess yeah. I guess I hope you can get around people like RBN and get around pasta
That's what I'm
and get
working on. I want
around.
to. So that's what I was going to say. I'm sorry to cut you off again, but I
Yeah, no
want
problem.
to.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about turning American Autopsy not necessarily into an interview show, but like kind of like what Primo
Hmm.
Radical does, where he'll have like get like his whole show is primarily focused around having guests. But I guess the only difference with my show is I'll do streams here and there and post clips from the streams I do, like solo dolo or whatever. But I was thinking about doing that. I don't know if you watched like my earlier, like some of my first videos, but I actually started this channel with a friend, with my friend Matt, and so I
Yeah,
was
I think
thinking,
I seen him. Yeah.
yeah, so I was thinking about getting him back on and doing stuff with him. So it's a lot of direct because I like it's just like with my job now, and I'm about to probably more than likely pick up a second job. It's just been rough
Wow.
trying to it's been rough, bro, trying to financially get through everything. And then on top of that, do the show as well. I'm also, I'm doing school too. I do a lot of shit, bro. I
Yeah.
do a lot of shit. So it gets, so that's why I be, sometimes y'all will see me going hard for like a month or two on the channel. Then it's like dead. It's because I'm just like
Hmm.
mentally and just exhausted. I'm like, oh my God. But that's what I'm thinking to kind of make the workload a little easier, especially with editing and all that too. Is doing, like an interview type of show mixed in with, like live streams like this and everything. And possibly some things on Matt. I'm also thinking about doing call in too more. I don't know if you are on call in, but I've been joining like Sabby Sabs call in and a couple other people that's on
Yeah, I've been in
call
there.
in. Yeah, I'm thinking about starting to do
Yeah.
call-ins
Hmm.
myself. Actually, one of the
That
guests I
sounds good.
want, yeah, one of the guests I want to have on is Roger Meadows. He's on her show a lot. Me and him we're vibing on her show, so I'm about to reach out to him soon to see if he will be
Okay.
willing to come on
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
show.
yeah. I heard about him. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I guess maybe another thought maybe that's more important is like I guess maybe I don't know if it's possible for you to do it, but sometimes I think some shows need like just like maybe just like one Black History story because is it just seems to me like the left and communists are not well educated and well versed on nobody is well versed on the history of what happened to black people particularly because yeah like I know you see it too like these today's communists say some crazy things
Fucking shit,
and
bro.
I'm
I
like
cannot tell you how much crazy shit I be seeing these motherfuckers saying, bro.
I understand like right wingers yes they do need to hear the communist message they need to hear it right because they need the correct political education they need help right they need to be helped and guided right but it's like you don't have to like abandon like yeah like just get a knowledge of black history you don't have to like forget or lose that because it's like man like because they don't know it's like yeah like they're saying crazy things and it's like my mind is boggled I can't believe it
And
communists wouldn't have said
but a
crazy
lot of the
stuff like that
things, yeah, but a lot of the things that black people have to say make white people uncomfortable, and that's what a lot at the
yeah
root of it. And again, I'm sorry, I was Chris. I'm sorry, but I got to do it. This book talks about that a lot
yeah
because
yeah yeah yeah
because they don't want to hear things that make them uncomfortable. They want to believe the great lie and myth of America. That's the thing. Charlemagne the God says this all the time. For all his flaws, he has a lot of fucking dope ass lines. He said the truth is more entertaining, or the lie is more entertaining than the truth. And that's what America is for white people. It's the great lie that's more entertaining and more palatable for them to believe than the actual truth of the founding of this country, the post founding of this country, like everything about this country, and in reference to non-white people. It's
trust
like I
me
said, like
yeah
DeSantis and all these motherfuckers, I've been telling niggas this shit, especially in America. I've been telling niggas this shit.
yeah
They are going to tell y'all, bro. That's going to be the big thing. They are going to tell y'all niggas start teaching in schools that black people got here through immigration. I promise you, bro. In 2 years' time, they're gonna be telling you. I promise you, bro.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be the wake up call, I think, for the conservatives and all of them. That's gonna be where it's like, because you seeing it now with the whole, oh well, slavery taught y'all some skills, right? That's good, right? And you had some of them fucking conservative like, what the fuck you talking about, bro? No. Oh, that was like, but when they start saying that shit,
Oh yeah, I
that's
seen
when,
that. I seen that.
yeah, that whole Frederick Douglass video and all that shit, bro, like that's when it's gonna start hitting niggas like, oh shit. But like now, you know, people aren't seeing it as much now because they're not in tune. But once your fucking son come home and say, Dad, so what country did we immigrate from? Huh? What you say to me, little nigga?
Yeah.
It's gonna be like that. I forgot what show it's from, but it's this meme that's online where the guy's yelling at this white teacher. He was like, bitch, you don't tell me what's good for my family, bitch. And then the principal look at him like, sir, you don't have to yell and cuss. One will suffice. And he's like, it's quiet. How you gonna tell me what's good for my family? Bitch? It's gonna be like that, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Dude, like, I guess maybe I'll have to respect the time and say this is the last thing I'll say. But like, dude, trust me, like, USA is not the only country that has that problem. The whole Western world has that problem. Like up here in my country, like sometimes like the Canadian conservatives, they've had the right position regarding the disease, right?
Yeah,
They've been good on that. But like when I listen to them, I kind of fear for them because it's like these BRICS people aren't playing. You know what I mean?
They are not.
Like,
have you been seeing what Mark Blythe has been saying?
No, I haven't.
He's been like almost like
Mark, I'm gonna have to look him up.
That's the guy that
Mark Blythe.
he's like a Scottish guy. He used to go on Jimmy Dore back in the day. He hasn't been on there
Yes,
recently.
him. Yes, him.
I just saw it. Now this is from 2 months ago. I got to check his Twitter and see what he's been saying recently. But he was saying, well, you know, it was almost like, nigga, do you not see these niggas? What they doing? And you talking about, oh, the dollar's gonna be good. I'm like, all right, bro, you believe that shit if you want to, bro. Yo, you keep believing that shit. They are, yo. And from what I was reading, China's the one that's trying to ditch the dollar quick. They the ones that's trying, because everybody else is trying to be conservative.
Yeah.
Let's just do a couple people, let them in. China was like, nah, let all the niggas, let them all in. Let all these niggas in. We need to get the ball rolling now.
Yeah.
They not playing.
Like, I remember,
bro.
I remember like reading like 10 years ago that China and Russia were hoarding up gold because they were getting ready to drop this dollar. And it's like, yeah, getting back to like, I fear for these conservatives here because it's like they don't even understand the whole history of colonialism. And because Canada didn't play like all that much, like Canada didn't go and like conquer people in distant lands, right? Canada's very similar to USA, right? They conquered the Canadian territory and took over that way. And it's like the conservatives are so insular because Western society has been at the pinnacle of the world for so long that like they they they, they don't understand the legacy of the West, right? And they don't understand the rest of the world remembers. The rest of the world has memory. Africa remembers. South America remembers. Central America remembers. China, they sure as hell remember. They remember the century of humiliation. We don't know that stuff. We don't know it, right? And when these people start telling us where we can go, where we can kick rocks, it's gonna hurt people. But like, yet people they don't understand. So,
you know, that's good old Western exceptionalism, man. They think their farts don't stink.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I suppose we'll have to leave it there then.
Yeah, thanks for popping on, man. I hope hop on next time. Like I said, I think I'm gonna do this regularly, where I open up the Discord lines at the end. You know, I was really rocking with the conversation we had. Hopefully more people can get in on this shit, man. To the point, like I'm trying to get it to the point where like I'm able to have panels at the end of the show. You feel me? Like that's one thing. This is one dude. I would check out his channel. Now I don't agree with a lot of the the anti-gay and LGBT stuff he says and a lot of other things, but his name's Amazing Lucas. He gives a lot of good commentary when it comes from the black perspective. But like I said, he's from like more of the conservative lens, so there's a lot of shit I disagree with him on.
Oh yeah, I know him, yeah.
Yeah, but also Frank Analysis used to do that. I don't know if you watch Franco's show like that, but Franco would do
Yeah, I used to
panels and
watch him
shit.
sometimes.
Yeah, check him
Hmm.
out. I've been telling people like they've been avoiding him like the plague because he don't go along with people's bullshit. but uh, but yeah, Chris, thanks for hopping on, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and close it out here,
No
man. So
Frank
thank.
analysis, but it's like, yeah, yeah.
Oh no, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah, go
yeah,
ahead, real
yeah,
quick.
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. No, I know Frank analysis, but it's just like with his tone of voice and his personality, the truth sounds so much harder to take. So it's like I, I'm getting the hard truth from so many places. I don't think I can get it from no more places, man.
I feel
But
that, bro.
yeah, maybe I will if I can toughen up. Maybe I'll pop in and give him a look. See.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I remember him. I saw him a couple of times. Yeah. Anyway, well, I guess take it easy, man.
You too, man. Peace.
Yeah. Good stream. Peace. Peace.
Alrighty, guys. So that'll be the stream today. I'm gonna go ahead and plug the show for I dip up out of here. As always, like, subscribe, and share. Emphasis on all that. I got the Patreon. I got some videos up on there. Like I said, I don't keep nothing, nada, near, nada. I don't keep nothing behind no paywall, so y'all can go check that out. I, would ask, it would be greatly appreciated if you could leave a contribution. If you want to help keep the show afloat more directly, definitely go hit that Cash App. That's down below. It's should be #AmericanAutopsy, but it's down below, so just go down below and handle that. If you can, it would be greatly appreciated. And thanks for tuning in, guys. I might do a Bendu streams of thought tomorrow night. I don't know yet because I'm gonna be pretty busy tomorrow, so we'll see if I can fit it in. But if not, I will be here Friday, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Peace.